Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much. This is Laquita Monley, and I am the co-founder and vice president of Monley Innovations, a work-from-home call center company. And today I'm doing coming to you with a live that I hope will be a benefit and a blessing to many. I know that through this COVID-19 crisis, many people around the world, not just in our country, but many people around the world, are finding themselves in a position where they are working from home for the very first time, or many people are finding themselves at home without work. And we know that anytime that there's transition and change, that brings about stress. And many of you know that Monthly Innovations is a work from home call center company. And one of the things that we like to do for our agents is give them helpful tips and advice on how to be successful in a work from home environment. And now, what I'd like to do with today's short episode is I've invited Miss Kellie Caldwell, who's a licensed social worker, in to give us some tips for families to help to de-stress in this time. I know that there's a lot of outside factors that are playing with a lot of people's lives, things that you can't control, and that's stressful. And on top of that, now everyone is at home at one time. A lot of things are going on right now that's outside the regular normal. And Kellie has over 13 years experience in this area. And I'm so happy to have her on today to be able to share some tips and advice to help people during this stressful time. Kellie, how are you today?
Hi, I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing great. I can't complain. I cannot complain. Praise God. Listen, tell the people a little bit about who you are and what your areas of expertise are.
Okay, hi, my name is Kellie Caldwell. I am a licensed social worker. I have been practicing social work for over 13 years. And my areas are I started out with family and children services, and that's when I interviewed and assessed families for abuse and neglect. And while being there, we did disaster relief. We referred families to outside agencies, different resources like food pantries, assisting with rent. We also did, we helped them to get things in the home should they need them. And we also did other things to make sure that the kids were safe and sound, no harm done to them, no more abuse, neglect, foster homes, and stuff like that. Later on, I went on to do mental health, which required us to do assessments as far as people with mental health issues, referring them to facilities so that they were able to receive the treatment that they needed, medications, therapy sessions. And they also, some places included prayer and devotional, spiritual things. So this kind of where my background comes from.
Okay.
And it was from one end to the other end. I've done some of all of it.
Some of all, you had your hands in a lot of different pies where that's concerned. Well, that's one of the reasons that I invited you on, because you do have such vast experience. And right now, with the COVID-19 crisis, not that families don't have stress any other time, but this situation has definitely added to stress levels for parents and children alike. I know for just personally, my teenager is super stressed because he doesn't have the freedom to go and do the things that he would normally do. He's athletic, he's in basketball, he's in track, he's in football, he's doing all of these things. And now, he's being told that he can't do that. And so, where me as the parent is trying to give him, look, this is the wisdom we need to follow. So no, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that. The children are stressed out because school provides them an outlet to do different things. And even, as a homeschool parent, extracurricular activities provided my son with an outlet. And now the outlet has been taken away. As parents, going to work is an outlet. You do get out of the house, you get to function. And now we're self-quarantining and everybody is in the house together. There's one big happy or maybe unhappy family. Can you tell us, one or two things that we could do during this time to help bring those stress levels down? Or, for those that say, okay, we're not stressed. Okay, so what are some things that we can continue to do to not be stressed?
Okay. As we all know, stress interferes with your emotional and your physical being. It also
Mhm.
causes tension and a lot of energies that we don't know how to release it. So these tips should help. Hopefully, some of them you're already doing, but you kind of enhance them. And first, you have to identify what are some of your stressors. And then, when you identify what the stresses are, try to have a different experience with them. And then, instead of getting angry, try finding a different approach. Well, I'm not going to be upset about it. I'm just accept it for what it is and try to handle what I can with what I have.
Hmm.
And then make it a different experience. That way, it won't leave an emotional scar or a physical scar, or in your mind, as it replays or happens again, you're stressed and angry and frustrated again. So instead of doing that, find a more positive way to experience.
Okay.
Okay, so say your kids keep asking, can we go somewhere? Can we go somewhere? Can we go somewhere? And then you have to explain to them once again what's going on because they don't understand what it is to be quarantined. Now, it's okay when it's quarantine by their way of doing it because they can go outside when they want to. We could take them to different places. But now it's kind of not in our control.
Right. Right.
So 5 tips, and it may even be more than five because I kind of broke them down differently. But I would say one, to set a schedule. Set different times for family time. That means that you guys can get together, you can watch movies, you can play games, do crafts, and and just take time. You can sit down with your child, just take time to find out what it is that they like to do. And if it's within reason and agrees with what's going on now outside with the quarantine, then you guys can do that. And just spend that time with them. Spend 2 hours watching a movie. Get them their favorite snack or something, and then you guys just eat and watch the movie. Play the games. Parents, sometimes you have to lose so they can feel like they won. But play the games with them. Um, do the little joking with them and just play around. And like I say, do arts and crafts. I have a little girl that she loves arts and crafts. She's always drawing, gluing, cutting, glittering. It's just stuff everywhere. But that's what she enjoys. It's an indoor project that we can all do as a family. And then you just clean it up when you finish.
Mm.
Um, and then also that gives parents our time to come out of parent mode. We're always wash dishes, clean up your room, get your baths, brush your teeth, and we don't really show them our fun side. So this gives us the time to show them our fun side. Yes, mommy knows how to watch the kiddie movies. We can play these games. We can do arts and crafts, stuff like that.
Hmm.
So that kind of eases some of the tension in the house. You're not just always on their back yelling at them about cleaning and washing and doing chores. Um, Tip number two, if you're in an area where you can go outside, and you may not be able to go very far because they have closed down stores and the dining areas to fast food restaurants and stuff like that, just take you a moment and walk around your neighborhood.
Okay.
Wave to a neighbor, see a neighbor you haven't seen in a while. How you doing? Because some of them, even here, I've seen where they're in their yard now,
Mm.
doing stuff outside in the yard, planting, um, removing items that they've had in the garage, or just kind of like cleaning out their homes, but they're outside now, doing stuff outside the house. And then let the kids burn off some of their energy, playing ball, running around, turning flips, doing cheers. And then once they get tired of it, make sure you got some water, some juice, or some snacks, what have you. Always include snacks because they love a snack. And just go out there. And then sometimes you just go outside and just sit. So you can have a change of scenery. So you're not seeing the house all day long, the walls, and just everybody on each other, just on top of each other, looking at each other every moment of the day.
Right.
So just go outside, get your little nature, get you some sunlight, and then just some fresh air. Um, that's another tip. Tip number three, I would say, take breaks. And what I mean by take breaks is give everyone some alone time.
Okay.
Being that everybody is all up on each other and we're constantly around one another, give everyone a break. Some alone time can include, as far as the parents, you can take time to yourself to watch your adult movies. There may be movies that you didn't enjoy or where you didn't watch with your child. So
Hmm.
you take that time, go to your room or wherever you feel comfortable, and you watch your type of movies. It could be anything that you like watching.
Okay. Okay.
You can, and then if you enjoy reading books, looking at magazines, reading articles, things like that, that's your break time. You do what you feel. And that could also include if you need a good hot bath with the candles burning and incense and all that music going, fine, take that time. But everybody have their own designated area. And that way nobody's up on top of each other, no one's arguing. Everybody's just kind of being themselves and just enjoying their time.
Okay. Okay.
Um, you can also take some time away from technology because we spend a lot of time doing emails on Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, all of these different apps, and even that could bring stress
Yeah.
because you're watching so and so, and they just seem like everything is going good. You don't really know their other side, and so it brings on other emotions. So with that, you just step away from it, take a break from phones and iPads and tablets, and just enjoy a moment of silence. You can also take time to listen to your choice of music, um, be it gospel, country, R&B, rap, whatever it is you like to hear, pop. Just take some time to just enjoy the music, and you don't even have to just listen to the words. Some, if you feel the need, go ahead. But then sometimes you just listen to the music and just relax.
Yeah. Yeah.
You also take time to talk on the phone with someone you enjoy that is not full of drama. Um, I know sometimes we enjoy a good gossip. Sometimes that gossip will upset you and have you ready to do some things that you do not need to be doing or focusing on. It
Right.
causes stress. But find you somebody you can laugh and joke with. And during this time, while parents are doing it, in most cases, the kids would be on their electronic devices or on their phones. And so, as a parent, all you have to do is just kind of monitor what it is that they're on. It could be,
What they're doing. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
like different video games and music that they're listening to. Kind of listen to that, and what they're watching on TV. Just kind of monitor that. But everybody will be in their own space, doing their own thing, and kind of just enjoying the moment.
So what I hear you saying here so far is, well, tip number one is the parents taking the time to relax and enjoy the quality time with their kids, doing things that the kids love and enjoy. And I love that you put in there, parents, sometimes you got to lose. I know in my house, we are super competitive. We're super competitive, especially when we're playing board games and the kids are playing board games. You know, there was a time when mama was in shape, so we would be really competitive outside playing basketball together. So
Mhm.
those are some great things. And those are the times that your kids will go back and tell stories and remember that time together, spending time with them, playing and doing different things. You know, one of the things that I've started doing is watching anime. I do not do anime, okay? But I have
Yeah.
started watching anime with my two sons that still live at home because they love anime. So, you know, they have a love-hate with that because they love the fact that I'm taking interest in it, but they hate that I ask so many questions. But we're doing it together because I want to know what's going on. Like, why is this
Mhm.
happening? This makes no sense. So
Exactly.
doing finding something together, you know. And my daughter, we really like to do Black history, really into Black history, African, Caribbean, just wherever we are in the diaspora. We love to watch documentaries and films for that, and so that's some of the things that I'm doing with Denise. And you know, with my sons, it's the anime. I'm not doing the outside activities. That's them and their daddy. I'm not gonna tell that lie on social media. Mama not out there playing basketball. I'm not doing that and doing
Mhm.
comments with them. They do that on their own. But that's a really great thing to be able to de-stress. And one of the other things that I heard you say was it's significant for us to be able to have that alone time where everybody is like, time out, go to your corners. You go do
Mhm.
you, I'm gonna go do me, and we can meet back in the middle here, and we're gonna try not to kill each other, and everything will be great. You know,
Yeah.
getting away from technology, taking the technology break, taking the screen time break. Okay, here we are. Let's pick up a book. Let's pick up a crossword puzzle. Let's pick up
Mhm.
something. But what we're not going to do is overly engross ourselves in social media, at this time. We're not on our tablets, we're not on our computers, we're not on our devices. We're doing some things that will cause us to have to verbally interact with each other, or
Right.
with the book. And that's, I think that's a great tip. And one of the other tips was you said to enjoy music. Like, wow, you know what? That's really good because music is soothing. So whatever it is that you enjoy, whatever type of music that you enjoy, pop those headphones in and enjoy that music. And like, especially, I would, even for me, I would mix the music in with the my time out time, because I'll pop in some classical music and open up a book, and
Mhm.
before I know it, I'm so focused on that book, I'm almost finished by the time we get through the Mozart or Beethoven or whatever I'm listening to. My mind, it helps
Mhm.
my mind focus. Like, if I'm listening to
Okay.
the gospel music, I'm gonna sing and do something. But if I want to focus, I put in that classical music, and it helps me focus and get through my task quickly. So I really like that. And I believe people will get a really good benefit out of that as well. And even if you're taking the time to learn how to listen to some of the music that your kids are listening to and doing some of the dances that they're doing, that's a great family exercise. And also with the, sorry, I need a drink of water right here. And one of your last tips that you had there was, oh wow, now I forgot. We did the music, the family time, the alone time, and not gossiping. And not gossiping. Having the right type of people around you is really important this
Mhm.
time, because if you have people that are pumping you full of positivity, that totally changes the way you think, and that's going to change the way you approach your situation. But if you have somebody that's always got some negative things going in your ear,
Right.
that's just going to increase your levels of being upset at the situation that we really can't change. We have no impact
Exactly.
or effect. We cannot change this. It is what it is. And so continuing to hear that over and over again won't help your situation. But if you're surrounding yourself right now with people who are full of positivity and that are encouraging, that really will change your outlook and your perspective on what we currently have going on with this COVID-19 situation.
Exactly. Exactly. So, there was some of them. I have a couple more. Cause like when you brought up the exercise part, that was later on. I was gonna say that throughout the first three, where you do your scheduling and you go outside and you take your breaks, those different activities can include exercise. And if you want to do it like with the go outside or doing the scheduling with the kids, you can include exercise in there with them. So you'll make sure that they're exercising and that you're exercising too. And that also helps to relieve stress with the tension and physically moving, and it also puts your mind on other things
Okay.
while you're exercising.
Okay.
And so my next tip included eating the right foods. And so when you eat the right foods, it helps also with stress management because it doesn't cause all these medical issues like gastro it's GERD or something like that, or you have acid reflux and these stomach pains and stuff like that. So during this time, you can kind of figure out, get your journal, and then try and eat your food and see what it is that's causing upset stomach and all these other issues, and try to include more. And that's what I have been doing, changing up my diet. And so I've included a lot of more plant foods rather than a whole lot of meat. So I've been eating a lot of fruit and vegetables. And don't get me wrong, I have not given up my meat. I love me some chicken and stuff like that, but I don't eat as much of it. And I feel a whole lot better.
Awesome.
And I've always drank water, so that's not an issue. But trying to stay away from sugary beverages. And so, and that way you can kind of just keep a journal of the different foods, what type of reaction you have when you eat this or when you eat that. And then eventually, if you're eating it, your kids are, Mama, can I try this? I want to try that. Mama, let me try this. So then it'll rub off on them.
Right.
And they'll start to eat better. They won't have as many stomach problems, or some people have food allergies they're not aware of. So you could have a sinus cold or allergy or something like that. And it may be from some food that you ate, like a reaction. So with eating, changing your food habits and writing it down and learning what is what, then you can stay away from those foods and start eating something different. There are different alternatives. They have a lot of I want to say it's a lot of people out there that have their web pages, blogs, stuff like that
Mhm.
about different foods to eat, and so which help them, and it may also help you. And my last tip is to get plenty of rest. Just because we're out and school is not in and you don't have to get up early the next morning and stuff like that, you can still keep your kids on their sleep schedule.
Okay.
That way you can have your time to yourself those few moments while they're going to bed. Say like their, I guess, time to go to bed, curfew, what have you, bedtime is like 8:30. Yours is like 10. Well, from 8:30 to 10, you have that time to yourself to kind of relax, walk around the house, see if there's anything that needs to be done, make sure everybody's asleep, lock doors, make sure they're locked, and just kind of do that, have their time to relax before you decide to get in bed and go to sleep. And just because they're out, whether it's right now with COVID-19 or if it's summer break, spring break, Christmas, anything like that, you can keep them on their sleep schedule. That way, everybody be well rested, won't be too cranky, and that'll also keep down some of the tension in the house because everybody's well rested, nobody's angry because they didn't get all their sleep out, and they're sleepy and cranky, and then also you sleepy and cranky because they went to bed early and you went late, and then
They woke
they
up,
get up early.
so now you
Yes,
have to get up.
and they right, and they're tapping on you, mama, mama. Can I have some cereal? Can I have this? Can I have that? And so everybody keep their sleep schedule.
Keep that.
So
So implementing exercise into your daily routine now, and also staying on this same rest schedule and making sure that you get rest, the proper. So if you were a person that had a job that didn't allow you proper rest, now what I hear you saying is it's important for you to get that proper rest because it's something that A, your body needs, and B, having that proper amount of rest helps to bring those stress levels down. Eating right, of course, it makes your body healthier, which in
mhm,
turn will cause us to have less health complications, which will bring that stress level down as well. So the exercise, the eating right, the food journals. I love the fact that you mentioned the food journals because having unknown food allergies could be something that has been causing lots of health issues and you just didn't know it.
yeah,
But now that you have the time to truly monitor what you eat, when you eat, how you eat, and making that food journal, it gives you a time to be able to have that self-reflection to know what kind of changes I need to make to, make a better me during this time. So thank you so much for those lovely tips. What I'm going to ask you to do is when we do get off the live, all of the tips that you gave, if you can go in the comment section and just, give me some bullet points and put those tips out there. So when people come and rewatch the broadcast or see the postings, then they'll be able to see those tips and write them down because during this time, every piece of information that we can get as parents, as business owners, as entrepreneurs, as career men and women to help us get through the COVID-19 crisis is a blessing. And I know that, like I said at the top of the broadcast, stress levels right now for some people are through the roof. And what we don't want to have happen is we want this to be a time that families are built up and made stronger and not a time where
exactly.
families are doing battle with each other because we're
Yes.
spending a lot more time together now than we have in the past, and I promise I won't keep you long. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine last night and we were talking about how people are so stressed out and, asking all of these questions and concerned that now that I'm home, I'm not working or I am working, but I'm working from home and my children are home all of the time. Like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And I thought about it. It's like, man, if you were like the age 45 and under, if you're 45 or old or in your 40s or over, let me say it like in your 40s or over, some of this should be just a stroll down memory lane, right? Like, that was,
That's what I was thinking.
that was a time where we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have social media. You know,
Exactly.
your work schedule was Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, unless you were a first responder and they had crazy shifts, or you worked in some warehouse type industry where you had crazy shifts. But for the most part, you went to work around the time your kids went to school, and you came home shortly after the kids came home. And so being with them all of the time, and I mean, for generations that are older than us, it wasn't unusual for kids to be at home with you all the time. So I think that this is just a transition that many people are just going to have to go back to. And those of us who are, 40 plus, just take that stroll down memory lane and remember how things used to be. How did we cope with things back then, and start to implement those things and stop looking at it as such a negative thing, and embracing what it could be and how positive it could be.
Right, because the most we had was outside TV or a phone, and you were not on the phone a whole lot, and
Because you weren't gonna get mama's house phone like that. And
and
she
was
turned off at a certain time.
okay, right. So yes, that's where we are right now.
Yeah, so we're just taking a stroll down memory lane, so it's going to be all right. Again, thank you so much, Miss Kellie Caldwell, for coming on and providing those helpful tips for us today. Hopefully, we'll get you to come on again throughout the course of this COVID-19 to be able to share helpful tips and information for families to be able to cope during this COVID-19 crisis. And just, again, for those who are just joining us and may have missed some of the earlier tips, if you could just do some real quick bullet points on what those tips are to help families cope during this time of COVID-19.
Okay, for those just tuning in, some of the tips that I gave. Number one was to keep a schedule, which means schedule time to be with the family, playtime, watch TV, play games with the kids, and just kind of find out where they are. Then also, I know with the schools, they have given homework assignments, so you can give them time on the computer if they do get on it to do iReady and Khan Academy, and it was several other depending on what school district you're in. Then tip number two was to go outside, spend some time outside, playing ball, walk through the neighborhood, turning flips, or just enjoy being outside. The sunlight, the breeze, whatever is going on in your area. Tip number three was take breaks. That means give everybody a break, their alone time. You go in your room or the living room or kitchen, wherever you see fit, and I'm gonna go in my room, and we just kind of do different things at this particular time, listening to music, watching TV, reading books, magazines. Um, Kids will be playing consoles, being on electronic devices, and even also, I put it on here, but I failed to mention it, and I did not want to get off without saying it. But also, sometimes during these breaks, some people pray. They do their prayers and um, and like praise time for them. Do that also. You can do that during your break time. You can also do it with the kids, but as far as like for parents, for you to be able to focus and get the needed stress release, do your prayer and praise time. Tip number four was to eat right. Eating the right foods, doing a food journal, kind of see where you may have a food allergy or how this food may react during, when I eat it, and just kind of write it down. Keep an idea of what upsets your stomach and your system, and kind of stay away from that. But eat right. Add fruits and vegetables, and drink plenty of water. And then, last but not least, get some rest. You can keep your same sleep schedule, the kids' same school schedule, what they had, go to sleep on time, everybody wake up refreshed in the morning, possibly have a better attitude, and go from there. And I almost forgot to mention during the scheduled times outside, take breaks, stuff like that, include exercise.
Yeah.
It burns off excess energy, stress that's built up, tension, anything like that. So you can put exercise in any of the first three, and that should help manage the stress while we're all stuck inside with COVID-19 running rampant.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you again. Those are some great tips For those of you that are just joining us, what we're going to do at the end of the broadcast, Miss Kelly is going to go back into the comment section and she's going to post those tips so that people, please like and share this video. So that many who didn't get to get on today will be able to glean from this information, and that those helpful tips will be there listed in our comment section. Well, Kelly, again, thank you so much for coming on. We totally enjoyed you today, and we look forward to having you on again to share more helpful tips and advice that families can do and implement to help bring their stress levels down, and how they can take this COVID-19 quarantine situation and turn it into a family bonding situation and a family building situation. Well, until next time, thank you guys so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you all again soon. Take care.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.